Thank you for joining us at Beerfish Fanatics. And this episode is actually brought to you by Whisker Secret Tackle.
So make sure you guys go to whiskersecret.com for all your catfishing gear.
Enjoy the episode, guys. This episode is brought to you by Kalona Brewing Company. If you live in Eastern Iowa, make sure to swing by Kalona Brewing Company's tap room. Amazing food and amazing craft beer. If you live in Central Iowa or in the Midwest, swing by your local supermarket and see if they carry the Kalona Brewing Company line of beer. And also swing by your local restaurants, local bars, see if they have Kalona Brewing Companies on tap. If not, make sure you guys request it. I kid you not, you won't regret that. Other than that, enjoy this episode, guys. Welcome to another episode of Beerfish Fanatics. This is Grandy with MaPop Fishing. Who ya?
Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
And today, we're taking it easy. We're gonna hang out with one of our friends here, Mr. Bo. I'm pretty sure if you guys follow Fishing Kit's YouTube channel, you guys will see him. We just kind of wanted to drink beers and talk fishing without having an expert today. The reason being is we just want to talk shit.
Damn, what are you saying about Bo?
Far from an expert. Far from an expert.
So thank you, Bo, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah. This time I'm not in just the background.
There we go. And quick shout out to our sponsor, Kalona Brewing Company. Today, we already kind of started here, or obviously we're in. Just so everybody who's listening, we're actually in person live, or in person.
Yeah.
Today. We're not online. I guess
in my basement.
There we go. But I'm drinking the Kalona Classic right now. We've been starting. What you guys got?
Same thing.
So
we're all drinking the same thing.
We're gonna start light.
Okay, let's ask a non-biased person's opinion. What do you think about this beer, Bo?
The Kalona Classic?
Yeah.
Because you drink like Busch Light, Bud Light. Miller
I drink
Lite.
a little bit of everything, actually. I think this is really easy to drink. I feel like I could crush like 6 of them. And didn't you bring this to the cleanup?
Yeah.
I think I crushed like 4 of them.
But
so super easy to drink.
Do you agree though? It has a lot of flavor. Not like those other kind of domestic beers because they're watered down.
Right.
I mean, to most people that.
Right. There's a balance, I feel like, with drinks. You either go really light, or a lot of people try like really hard and make it like too much, right? This is pleasant. It's
cool.
Pleasant.
There you go.
Yeah, I think Bo was into craft beers before I was. I remember you'd have like some crazy random beers in the fridge.
Oh yeah.
I remember it was before I was like way into IPAs and stuff. And I'd see like double IPAs in his fridge. Like, man, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, my drinking has roller coastered. So in college it was all light beer, and then I got into craft beer, and it was like all craft beer. And now I'm older. It's like, you know what? A Hamm's or a Busch sounds pretty good today. But I'll still like get into the craft beer. I love IPAs. It's getting colder out, so like porters are really nice when it's colder out. Stouts for sure.
So for our listeners, there's a stout here. I think that Fishing Kit brought out. It's a startup stout by Kalona. I love it. It's a coffee stout. So I got to finish this light one so I can have that one.
Yeah, I also have a Imperial stout upstairs.
Nah, we're good.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is a school night. I better watch out.
What time you wake up for work?
I gotta be at work at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah.
Better you than me.
That doesn't stop me from staying up until 11.
Like 3 drinks tonight.
So, I wanted to talk about, because we were just kind of offline earlier. We're talking like what should we talk about? There's one thing that I really wanted to bring it up to you guys and just kind of ask you guys, because I obviously am not the greatest fisherman, but what is it that you feel that you can improve on? Because I think all of us, obviously, no matter how good you are or no matter how long you've been fishing, you can always find something in your repertoire that you can get better at. And I don't know, let's start. You want to start first?
Well, I have a kind of a follow-up question. What makes a great fisherman?
What makes a great fisherman?
Yeah, what makes a great fisherman?
I think it depends on who's asking the question and what they constitute as a great fisherman. Because somebody could be like, well, somebody who wins nothing but tournaments and fishing, right? Yeah. Or it could be somebody who can catch fish, no matter the circumstance. Or it can be somebody who just fishes a lot. Yeah. That fishes all the time, because you can technically be considered great because, you're always fishing, you're always catching, but. Sure. So it just depends on the person who's asking and what they considered or what they qualify as a good fisherman.
It's tough, right? Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, it depends who's asking, and depends what you define as a great fisherman.
Right.
So what do you feel that you can do better?
Oh man, so many things. I feel like I've improved a lot. I don't think that makes me a great fisherman by any means, but for where I was to now, I feel like I've done so much better at fishing. Maybe it's time on the water, like you mentioned. Maybe it's learning more techniques. Maybe it's learning more even knots. I don't know. There's been a lot of improvements for me personally in the last year. Things I'd like to improve on more. I'd like to catch more fish.
Don't we all?
I think that is definitely a goal of every fisherman.
Honestly, I'd like to... I think it happens to a lot of fishermen where they have like their spots, right? This is my spot on the lake. I have 2, maybe 3 spots on this lake. I'd kind of like to move away from that personally and explore a lake or a body of water more, so that I'm not confined to these 2 spots. I'm driving in an hour and a half away and I'm like, okay, someone's in my spot. Dang it. Guess I can't fish here anymore, right? So I'd like to study the bodies of water more in this next coming year, I think. And not restrict myself to like, this is where I usually go. I've caught fish here before, so I'm going to go here, right?
No, that's definitely fair, because I feel like that is definitely one of my weaknesses too.
Right.
I don't understand how to read the contours of a map. I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I understand what that means depth-wise and everything, but I don't understand how does that entail, where the fish will be at times.
Right.
I'm still, obviously we can YouTube it and Google all that stuff for it, but I think just kind of getting out there and just kind of figuring it out for yourself will be,
for sure,
helps you get better. But you, Guy?
Well, I was going to go back to where he was talking about, just fishing those same spots or whatever. You have your spots. Because sometimes, we'll go out, we'll try different places like, man, it was freaking rough. And then we're like, we should have just went to blah, blah, blah. And then let's say a couple days later, we go back, we just kill it at one of our usual spots. Like, man, we should have just came here the other day. So it's easy to get stuck in, I guess, like a rut of going back to into the same spot where it's like, okay, this one's a safe bet. And then, when you see somebody there, it's like, oh, man, it's in... I mean, I usually don't say it's my spot, but I was like, man, there's a guy in the spot, so I guess I just got to fish somewhere else. What can I do better as an angler? I mean, can't argue with Bo. Catch more fish.
Easy to say,
right? That's the easy answer. Hard answer, I would say, man, I guess
he's so perfect, guys.
Yeah.
he has no improvement.
Oh, what can I do better? Oh, nothing.
So good.
I mean, there's always ways to improve.
Well, for me, go ahead. You keep thinking.
All right.
Because there's so many things that I need to improve on. Everything from, even like you're saying, like there's only, I maybe know a handful of, knots, the typical knots, how to tie. Sure. I want to learn more and why specific knots are better used for specific techniques. And that leads into my other one that I really want to get better at is trying new techniques. And when I say like, I'm talking about rig setups, just trying different things. I mean, I not necessarily have to catch fish, but knowingly that if a specific technique or rig works and why it works, and just getting better at it. I think that's a goal of mine for sure, that I need to get better at different techniques. I mean, open water wise is what I'm talking about. And just really understanding why those techniques work the way they should and, why they do. And I think I I think it just makes you a better angler in that sense. If you have it's a weapon, I guess you're gonna say. If you know all these different techniques, in a way, it's kind of you have it behind your head. So let's try this. If it doesn't work today, try something else. Because right now, I mean, I maybe only have some simple handful of techniques, and sometimes, who knows? It may not be the best for the current circumstance.
Definitely. And I think anglers, myself included, are not persistent enough with learning new techniques or even new baits. I mean, I can think of a dozen times where I've tried something new, like, you know what, I'm going to throw a blade bait, right? And then I throw it and I don't catch anything. I haven't picked one up since then, you know?
It's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
So when you're confident in a certain lure, you're going to keep throwing it. And obviously, you're going to catch more fish on that lure.
Right.
I actually, I made it I wouldn't say a goal, but I made it I guess it is a goal. When I'm going out now, and then, because I'm recording for YouTube now, I'm technically actually focused on the one specific lure that I had tied on, and I'm fishing it with the whole time, catch or not. So I can learn that lure and the bait, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just kind of get better at it. So that's what I'm kind of doing. I don't know if it's going to help me or not, but I hope so I can get better.
Yeah, I do that when I'm lazy.
Yeah. No, but you're
I
right.
feel like
It's
tying stuff
a
on,
confidence thing because you've caught fish doing it a certain way your whole life or whatever the case may be. And then when you change something up for 10 minutes and not a single bite or bump or anything, you're like, shit, I'm going back to this. You know what I mean? Because you're comfortable with it. You're used to it versus trying another thing. So I think definitely confidence is a thing. But like I said, I'm just going to try more and more stuff, I think, as I get to fish a little bit more and more.
Good goal.
Okay, I got something for your fishing knots. I'm going to quote Spencer here. The best knot for you the best knot to tie is the knot that you're good at tying.
True.
For me, I only use maybe 3 different knots. Polymer knot. That's a real big one.
Like standard fisherman's, yeah.
Is it a clinch? Okay.
There's the clinch knot and improved clinch.
That's what I use.
That's good for like thinner line because because the more wraps you do and the thicker your line, it won't dress properly. And when it doesn't dress properly, dress meaning like when you cinch it down, everything's nice and tight. The thicker your line is, and the more wraps you do, there's more things that could go wrong, and then that's where your knot will fail. I say just pick a few knots that you're good at tying, that you can tie quickly, and just go with that.
I'll start doing that. Because, I do the polymer, but I usually do the improved clinch knot the most.
Yeah, I'll do polymer, and I like snelling my hooks because it's easy, but you really only do that for catfish stuff. Like with jigs and stuff, polymer knot's pretty good. It's not really a knot you would use for like jerk baits and stuff, because you gotta do your overhand knot and then take that loop and go around your jig head. It's kind of hard when you got a 8-inch an 8-inch hard bait with 3 treble hooks on it.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I always lose track of where the loop is. Did I go this way or the other way?
But yeah, just tie whatever's easiest for you. Yeah, whatever knot you're good at, that's the one you want to tie.
I think I only use 3, maybe 4 knots, maybe.
Good advice.
I use those 2 knots and then whatever I need to tie my leader onto,
when you're joining 2 lines.
Yeah.
I like the uni to uni knot.
That's what I used to do.
I think that's I don't know. I think that's the easiest. The uni to uni. When you tie 2, what other knots do you normally, or any?
I use Albright.
Okay.
Albright.
Just pretty easy. I don't know. I did it because I thought it was easier. Because I did uni for a long time. I was like, I'm going to try this. And I thought it was easier to do on the fly. Yeah. Because I rip my line a lot.
Uni to uni can be a pain in the ass when it's windy.
Right.
That's the only thing I hate, especially if you have braid and then you tie it. It's a bitch.
Well, people say one of the best knots you could tie is the FG knot when joining 2 lines together. I don't know what FG stands for, but if you ever Googled or watched a YouTube video on how to tie it, if I tied that knot, it'd be a terrible knot because there's so many steps you gotta take your time with it. It's not a quick and easy knot. And so my point I was saying, You could try to tie the best knot in the world, but if you're not good at it,
Yeah.
it doesn't do you any good. And of course, with practice, you would get better at it. I just want to be, I don't know, efficient, I guess. Just few quick, easy knots, and I'm good to go. Until I run into a situation where, okay, I'm not as good as I thought at tying this knot. I need to either get better at this knot or try a different kind of knot.
Right.
And so far, I just narrowed it down to not even a handful of knots, I don't think.
Yeah. And I think typically it's not the knot that'll fail you. It's like user error, right? So it's like, it's not the knot's fault that I lost that fish. It's because I messed up somewhere, right?
Right.
Very true.
That's how I think of it anyway.
Oh, good advice. I think, get better. Handful of knots, just get better at them. And I think that'll improve at least speed of retying, because I tend to do that a lot too. So
It happens.
Just so everybody knows, maybe next year during open water season, Mr. Bo here, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
He obtained.
Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. I wanted to come to that later.
Oh, shit.
I want to get back into, how can I
Yeah.
improve?
Well, here we go. Did you come up with something?
Sort of. It just goes back to the confidence thing. For me, I am like a confidence fisherman. I just throw maybe a couple of lures with a couple different colors. So I guess I'm kind of stubborn in that regard, or lazy, I think is another way to look at it, because it's what I'm confident in, and I catch fish on it. So why, in my mind, like, why should I change it up? But then there are days where, I'm just headstrong with that one lure. Like, okay, the fish must not want to bite at all because they're not biting this. Because you fish with me all the time. You don't see me switching lures out very much.
No, you don't.
I throw, like I said, a couple different things. Guess the way for me to improve is I need to mix it up more. I mean, what I do works most of the time for me, but I don't change it up as much as I should. Yep, that's it. No more improvements.
Gee, must be nice to be able to catch fish all the time. I cracked the startup stout by Kalona Brewing. I got to do the coffee stout. So
Cheers.
I cracked open Son of a Peach, cinnamon peach. It's
that's a good
cinnamon.
one.
Yeah.
These guys are thirsty.
Fishing
Something
kid
like
just
that, yeah.
fishing kid just needs to build up his.
I got to work at 3 a.m.
There we go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Where like, just these things work for me. So like, why change it, right? My dad does that. Has been doing that his whole life. His tackle box is literally like 2 soft plastics. There's only 2 different kinds, and that's all he uses.
Well, at least it's cheap.
it is.
You know what I'm saying? He's not
right?
because no, it's very true. Go look at all of our tackle boxes. I bet you there's at least 70 to 80% of shit in there that y'all don't even touch.
Oh yeah, there's colors in there that have
There-
been
there is.
unused for sure.
I guarantee it. It's not like 10%. I'm talking about 80%. I bet you 80% of the stuff in everybody's tackle box you don't even touch.
And guess what? I'm buying more.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though? But it's just one of those things where, it's just nice to have just in case I ever want to use it. But then sometimes you look at it, it's like, shit, you've had that in your box the whole time, and you haven't even touched it. The worst thing is that I even have stuff in bags inside of my bag.
Oh yeah.
like years. Like it got to the point where I have plastics where it melt. It melted inside the bag. Like, all right, I gotta stop buying
color.
I gotta just stick to a few of the specific colors here and there. But yeah, I got to a point where I like. Okay,
It's easy to do for
Yeah.
sure.
Like with those flukes, everybody that watches me knows I love those flukes. When I was first getting into them, I'd buy 4 or 5 different colors, and in my bag, well, I would say more like 10 different colors. Different shades of white, gray, maybe those more exotic colors like chartreuse or whatever. I probably still have that same first bag or second bag of chartreuse sitting upstairs, but I've gone through 15 bags of the white. It just goes back for me like I guess not necessarily quality over quantity, but like with your techniques, you want to learn more techniques and stuff. Would it be better just to learn a few, but then get really good at them, or just try to learn as many techniques as possible?
No, I want to learn a few.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, though?
Right.
And I got to get to that point where let's just say there's like 6 different techniques I know how to fish, which is a few.
Yeah.
But they get really good at those. But I don't even have that many in the sense. You see what I'm saying? Like different rigging setups and stuff. So I don't even have that right now. So that's why I want to get better at those. And then if I get a chance to expand, then great. But after but let me just get on consistent bites first.
Okay. So here, how about this? What's you could boast yourself up a little bit. So what's one confidence technique that you have, like one that you always rely on, or you could go out and say like, yep, yeah, I'm pretty good at this. I just go out and use this technique, catch fish.
I really wouldn't even say I have one, dude.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious. I wouldn't say that I have one that it's guaranteed I'm going to get a bite.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Not guaranteed, but that you feel pretty confident in yourself in doing.
I feel pretty confident. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a technique, but whenever I use spoons, I feel a lot more confident that during the summer months now, going for white bass and hybrid bass, wipers, I feel a lot more confident using either spoon or spinners. In that sense, I think those, I feel like I still use it now. Like yesterday, the other day, you know what I'm saying? I still use that now. I still go to that. And I guess the only other thing would... I kind of started this summer really getting to was drop shotting, and I actually started catching some fish towards the end of summer, and I feel like that could be a technique that I think I may go to a lot more as the fish are on the ground more or deeper. So I feel like I may use that a lot more. I just got to figure out like the distance, how high am I going to set the drop shot and the weights. I still have that stuff I think that comes with time, just being on the water and just understanding, okay, if it's the current's too fast, like I need to put a little bit more weight, or if it's, if it stands still water, lake or whatnot, I don't need that heavy ass freaking weights on it. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to get better at that and how to retrieve it and reel it in so that staying on the ground. I still got to practice that. I still sometimes I kind of jerk it. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm drop shotting. You know what I'm saying? So I got to, those are the little tidbits that I'm getting better and better at. But I would say, honestly, yeah, this year, drop shotting actually worked. I was catching fish off doing that. And then, like I said, spoons and spinners was a good thing for me this year.
Nice.
What about you, Bo?
What am I good at? That's really tough.
What's your confidence?
That's technique? Really tough. I think this year I did a lot better with panfish. It's tough. What is my go-to? It's really tough. My go-to back when I got back into fishing, like last year, was to copy you. That was my go-to.
You started off on a good foot.
That was my go-to. Yeah, for sure. I think that was actually a sign of improvement for me was when I stopped copying Kit all the time. Right? That was sort of my first sign of like, okay, I'm gonna do something different, and I feel like it's benefiting me somehow. Right? Mixing it up. Right? So I stopped copying you. I still copy you sometimes. I mean, I think it's great when we go fishing together because we can bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
So like, you're gonna throw a spoon. Okay, I'm gonna throw a spinner. If none of that works, I'm gonna throw something else, right? And we're gonna hit something eventually, unless we don't.
Yeah. Like down in Kansas,
right?
I was in that spoon mentality. Like I'm just throwing spoons,
right?
I don't care. And then I wasn't catching stuff, and Bo, he was starting to hit stuff on just crappie jigs, white bass. And I had to give in. I was like, all right, I can't just not catch fish.
Right? Yeah. So. I think I feel pretty good with jigging like lighter plastics or jig heads, I feel pretty good about that personally because that's something that I used to do with my dad all the time because that's all he does, right? So that's what he taught me. So I've been doing that for a long time. Otherwise, throwing out cut baits pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been getting real lazy with it. If I have a jig head tied on, I'll just throw the cut bait on the jig head and just throw it out, you know.
Bounce it off the bottom, or are you using a
I'm just letting it sit there, right, on a jig head with some cut bait.
No bobber or anything?
No
Just
bobber,
off
no
the
additional
ground.
weights, no floats.
Nice.
Straight up leader to a jig head, and you know it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes, sometimes it works. Yeah, it depends on, I guess, if you know the structure. You know, some techniques don't work for some types of structure. I'm probably not gonna like Carolina rig something super rocky, or you know, I don't know much about a Carolina rig, but but yeah,
Line with the sinker,
right,
and then another line with the hook on it.
Yeah, right? That's,
right,
that's pretty much
yeah,
it, right?
yeah. But yeah, you know, it depends on what terrain you're in, I feel like.
How about you,
Me?
Kit? What's your super duper confident style of fishing that you know what, I'm catching shit today?
I love throwing swim baits in current.
Yeah.
Man, like when those wipers are going, maybe they're making it easy for me. I don't know, but man, when those wipers are going, throwing those heavier jig heads in current with a 5-inch swim bait on, I feel like I'm pretty decent at it. I mean, I've caught my fair share of fish doing that, and then I'll even throw it out in the bigger lakes that we go to. Like, okay, there's gotta be a wiper or something swimming around. And I think another thing, just throwing the spoons in the summer is like my go-to. It's like, all right, I have tons of confidence in this. I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna catch fish until I don't catch fish, and I see Bo catching stuff on jigs. Like, all right, I'll switch it up.
Very, very true. But you got me on the spoons and the spinners for the summer months for sure. I think that really got. I think was it last year I really got into it with you. You got me into. I think it was last year that really started.
Yeah, I always carry spoons now.
Oh yeah,
basically
guaranteed now.
always.
I carry extras now.
when you're just burning it in and they smack it,
Yeah.
like basically they stop you from reeling. Like, oh man.
I think that's the thing about spoons that I love the most. You're right. It's like they stop you from the reel, so then it's like the bite just feels so much harder.
Yeah.
I think that's very true.
Super aggressive.
It's
bait.
an aggressive bait. And it attracts aggressive fish, right?
Yep.
In theory, anyway.
So, as I was mentioning earlier, happy belated birthday to Bo.
Thanks again.
I wanted to get into his present. So, must be nice. Amazing present from his father.
Oh yeah. Speaking of branching out and exploring lakes, the background for this was Bo's dad. We kind of had a feeling it was gonna happen, but not the way that it turned out, because Bo's dad sent you a picture of like, oh hey, there's this boat for sale from this guy I know. Like, let's go take a look at it. And things kind of fell through, and then one day, me and Bo were fishing out for his birthday. Went back home to his dad's house. Boom, boat in the driveway. Like,
It's pretty cool. He kept calling me that day too. He's like, "Hey, where you at?" Like, "I'm fishing, man. What are you doing?" He's like, "Come on over."
He was probably super excited.
He was excited. It was a good day. It was a good birthday for sure.
So there you go. So Bo's he's a new boat owner.
New used boat owner. That's
There you
right.
go.
I don't know anything about boats. Like nothing at all.
So this is gonna be a thing. We'll learn together next year.
Exactly.
During, obviously ice season's coming up, but we can all learn together. And Fishing Kit knows how to back up a boat now. He did it one time.
one time.
So and it
That
was
was without the boat on the trailer. I just backed up the trailer.
yeah. It was still though. He backed up dark as hell, and me and Spencer were laughing at him the whole time. But we could have helped, but we didn't.
Could you have helped? I don't know.
Well, they could have like told me, like,
Yeah.
go this way.
Oh,
go
sure,
that way.
we could have. But the thing was, we were busy drinking on the boat, watching him, and it's just.
Well, you guys did say like you guys were like, you got plenty of room on the right.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Sure.
Then I had to back up like 4 or 5 times, and then I got it.
Yeah. But no, you got it. That was a good thing, and you didn't hit anything. That's even better.
Yes, that was my main concern. I was like, oh man, a lot of fancy stuff here, fancy truck, fancy trailer, fancy boat. Like, I do not want to mess this up.
So what's the What's the biggest thing that you want to do with the boat next year? I mean, I guess because you being a new boat owner, fishing kit myself, we've been talking about it. We're thinking about it. Well, he should just do it. But
yeah, it finally got to the point where like, all right, I'm gonna get it next year, and then now one of us has a boat
this year. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about boats really. I know how to start it. I know which way is forward and which way is back, right?
More than me.
It was really nice. The boat that I have came with like the manuals and everything, so I've been trying to read through those. I know for sure I'm going to ask for advice from our friends like Saki Fishing, he's even offered to go out with me on his boat and just like, ride with me just so I know what I'm doing, right? Probably the scariest thing, literally is backing it up and making sure I don't hit anything. That's probably my biggest concern. Maybe forgetting to do something and, having catastrophic failure. I don't know,
like
what
a drain plug or something.
Right,
like,
exactly.
oh, no.
Exactly. Something like that. Like one small stupid thing and now my boat's on the bottom,
Right.
Otherwise, I feel like I'll learn it quick. I don't think it'll be too hard to learn. Just getting time on the water, I feel like. Just like fishing, just getting time on the water, getting time on the vessel. That's the only way to really do it. So.
Yeah. Time on the water is very important. Like, I always tell people, I'm not good at fishing. I just go a lot.
Yeah.
And, if you do something enough times, you get good at it.
For sure. For sure. And my dad used to own a boat many moons ago. So he said he was going to ride with me and just, show me how that goes. My fiance's dad has owned many boats. Growing up, they had a small engine repair shop. So they know all about, the ins and outs of boats. So I have a lot of support.
Awesome. No, we can't wait to get on the boat.
Me too.
I'm glad you got it. I'm really glad you got it, and I'm happy for you because we've been fishing a ton together. Basically every week.
Basically at least
multiple times
at
a
least
week.
once, yeah.
And
for sure.
I was like, Bo's got a boat, and like I was saying earlier, I was planning on getting a boat, and I think with you getting in there first, I could learn a lot just from going with you.
For sure.
And like going with you opposed to somebody like, let's say, Spencer or something, me and Spencer are cool, but he's not like one of my best buds. Like,
right,
I could really get in there with your boat. I'm pretty sure Spencer, if I ask him, if I could drive the boat or use the trolling motor, he probably doesn't give a shit.
Right.
But for me, I'd be more comfortable. Like, hey, boat, man, let me try this thing on your boat.
Definitely. I already know. Like, I want to put some rod holders on it because it doesn't have any rod holders. That's all I know.
Speaking of your fiance's dad, his boat didn't have any rod holders.
It did not.
And me, for some reason, like, all right, I'm just gonna put this rod down with my. I think it had a lipless on.
It was a lipless.
Yeah, lipless on. Maybe a foot or two underneath the surface. We didn't get any bites all day. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna rest this on the floor of the boat.
With the lure in the water.
With the lure in the water. Just a foot or two beneath the bottom. Or beneath the surface. Just one bite. And it just freaking flew.
The only bite of the day.
Yeah, the only bite of the day.
It was like 4 hours on the water.
Yeah.
Wow. You lost your... Oh, that was the one you lost your pole and everything.
Yeah,
huh?
that was my favorite setup.
Oh.
My favorite rod. And I just put a new reel on it that I got from Cast King. I probably used it for a week. But I had that rod for many years. Cheap ass rod. I bought it for like $20. My favorite rod that I owned.
I always buy cheap rods.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, and then I was like, all right, I need to put this Cast King to use. Week later, it's gone. Like, oh.
Hey.
And I can't find that rod anymore.
Do you know where the location was? Is it nearby? Is it local body of water?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was the big lake.
Oh, I was going to say, can we take the live scope and see if we can find it?
Probably not.
I doubt it.
That was what?
Months ago.
Yeah, months ago. At least 3 months ago, I feel like.
I was just wondering. That'd be kind of cool if we can go and see if we can find it.
It would be cool, but
that would be.
Is it far? Is it a
feat.
far walk or anything from the?
I don't think we could get it from shore.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
It's a lost cause.
Yeah, you gave up already. Okay.
I've closed that chapter in my life already.
All right. All right. Well, we'll turn into this. We were talking a little bit earlier too about custom rods and just expensive rod or whatever the case may be. So ice season's coming up, and a lot of us have custom rods, and
All of us now.
Actually, all of us have custom rods. You're right. Yeah. You're spot on that. And I got into the custom rod thing because of the my in-laws got me into it and all that stuff. Go figure. But they're obviously a lot more expensive than your $10, $15, $20 ice rods that you could just buy at any box store. So tell me, guys. I mean, ice season's probably within about a month and 2 months of us here in central Iowa. Why do you guys have custom rods? I have my reasons, but I want to hear from others. Is it really worth it? Because I think a lot of our listeners we have up north, up northeast, all over the place. And then we have a lot of listeners down south who probably have no idea about ice fishing at all. So what the hell are you guys talking about? Custom, all that stuff. So we'll start with you, Bo.
Sure.
So you kind of really got into ice fishing probably, about a year, 2 years ago now?
This is only going to be my second season ice fishing this year.
So why did you, when this episode comes out, my video comes out, you guys will see what we're talking, because we were talking on the on my channel, MaPop Fishing, with him. He got his custom rod from Saki Fishing. But why are you getting a custom rod, and what was in your mindset to get into that? Because I'm assuming you had cheap rods before ice fishing wise.
Oh yeah.
But why do you feel like custom rod was the way to go?
So I'm still pretty new to the ice fishing scene. This is only my second season. Last season I feel like didn't last that long. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like it didn't last that long. So I don't have a ton of experience ice fishing. My biggest reason for me personally with the custom rods is that I really love the fishing community, and I really love supporting local businesses, local, people doing what they're doing. I'm wearing a river certified hoodie. I'm pretty sure it just sucks my fishing power out because I never catch anything in this hoodie.
Hey, Spencer, I hope you're listening to this.
I really have never caught anything in this. We're going catfishing today. Let me get on my Spencer hoodie. And nothing. But yeah, Sean's become a good friend of mine, and I just really want to support what he's doing. Anybody who has dreams of doing something they love, I want to support that. Any local business, whatever it may be. So that's my number one. It doesn't matter if he was making custom socks or whatever, right? I would still buy it, right?
Yeah.
And then my second reason is it just feels way better. I've used some inexpensive rods. My first rods were a gift. They worked fine. It just feels kind of like a toy sometimes, right? That's how I felt anyway. It felt like a kind of like a, what's that brand? Like Tinker Toy, right?
Yeah.
Kind of clunky, right? Just not great, but it still did the job.
Unrefined,
yeah. Exactly. I'm a chef by trade, and I always tell people the difference between fine dining and just regular cooking is just attention to detail, right? Like a breaded fried chicken or whatever at a fine dining place, it's a chicken nugget other places, right? It's just attention to detail. Gotcha. Right? So with the custom rods, it has that attention to detail. Sure, you pay a little bit more, but you get what you're asking for, right?
Makes sense. No, that's more power to you to help support the small businesses. I like that.
Definitely.
Hence MaPop Fishing. How about you, man? Because I know Fishing Kit for the longest time, because I got him, I did de-virginize him into ice fishing. And for a while there, you were I'm not gonna buy a custom rod.
Like, it's too much money.
It was
Like,
too much. Yeah,
It can't be worth it.
So what made you like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm doing this custom rod thing. But what made you like, and then now all your ice rods are custom rods. So what made you do it? And then what's the pros and cons do you feel?
Well, all of them except for two. So shout out to our sponsor. I got two of the Whisker Seeker ice sticks.
I got one
and
too.
Those, they're not the fanciest rods, which is fine. I don't buy them for their fanciness or whatever. I just buy them so I can just beat them up. And that's what they're great for. They're not super expensive. I just bought two jaw jackers. I'm going to throw those on, and that thing's going to be bent over backwards. Yeah. And that's what they're good for. But, I'm not going to throw a custom rod on there for sure.
Yeah.
Unlike somebody.
So, thanks, man.
The Whisker Seeker rods are like not even $40, I think.
No.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap.
They're
I
pretty
have
cheap.
one, yeah.
They're a great deal. And
really affordable.
Thanks for breaking. Yeah, I'll have to explain to you guys. Oh, go ahead. Finish your story. We'll explain that one.
So we went out to Colorado one year to meet up with his brother-in-laws, and for some reason, like, I sit down, he cracks me open a beer, we start talking fishing, and like maybe not even 10 minutes in, he starts pulling out like a tuned up custom, and this, I think a T7 was another one, maybe one other maker, maybe not, but he's like, here you go, like, check these out. I'm like, man, these things are freaking sexy, dude. Like, this is nothing compared to my freaking Freybill.
Yep, that's what I have,
even
my like Fenwick, I think I had at the time, which was my nicer rod. I was like, dude, there's just something like what you were talking about, the attention to detail. You just, there's this refinement to it. And then on top of that, like Bo said, you're supporting, a mom and pop or whatever. I mean, granted, Tune Up Custom isn't, I don't know if anyone would consider them mom and pop anymore, but back then, that was 6 years ago or something like that.
Probably 6 years.
I mean, they're still pretty big, but they're not the full-blown whatever they are now. And I was just like, dude, so sexy just holding it.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt nice. Maybe because it's I was just wowed. Like, I never held a ice rod that costed $100. And I mean, aside from the things that we mentioned, you could just build a rod for whatever you want. Like, okay, I want a rod in this length, this type of action, and I'm going to use it to fish these lures, catch these types of fish. And it feels pretty good if you go out to say, let's say, Sean, all right, okay, I want a rod in this length, in this action, I'm going to be using these lures. Then you go out on the ice, put that lure on, go target that fish, and you catch a fish with it. It feels pretty dang good.
Definitely.
I agree. I think the biggest part of, so a lot of people actually, I've gotten asked, like, what's the biggest deal? What's the big deal? You're just paying so much, money for a custom rod, but you guys are spot on as regards, because you can customize. That's why hence the name custom ice rod. You customize it to your liking. Everything from color to the action to the length of the rod to the specific make of the rod, the guides, everything to it. You can literally put whatever you want into it, and it makes a difference of how it performs. Like you were saying, attention to detail. I think that was the biggest thing when I got into the custom rod thing, and then I kind of went crazy for like a year or 2 years. I probably have, honestly, like 8. At one point, I think I had like 10. And then I had a lot of hand-me-downs for my brother-in-laws. And then, like, Fishing Kit was, bring up old stuff.
Yeah, they were drip feeding you, like,
yeah, they were
giving you little teasers.
They were. Yeah. And then, shout out to, I don't know if you to our listeners, go check out the episode we had with Kim, my brother-in-law. But he was the one who got me my first custom ice rods, got me really into. He got me these T7 ones. And then, my dumbass, I think it was like 5-6 years ago, I didn't know, I was just like, yeah, I had a jaw jacker back then, and I didn't know. I was just like, yeah, I just put my custom rod on that. You know what I mean? I had no idea. I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, I'm ice fishing. It's meant for a rod, right? Yeah. So, listeners, anybody, if you have custom rods, do not put that on a jaw jacker or an automatic fisherman. Just do not. Because what happened was we were fishing in a tournament several years ago, and I did that, and I caught a fish, but what happened was it broke the tip. So those, yeah. So imagine $100-some rod that was given to me from my brother-in-law, and I just snapped the tip because I put it on a freaking jaw jacker.
Yeah.
So I'm sad.
Hope it was a good fish.
No.
Oh, you won that tournament.
No, it was. We didn't win the tournament. It was like an 8-inch crappie, so it wasn't worth obviously the custom rods.
Yeah, like we don't want to give the impression that custom rods are overpriced, delicate pieces of hardware. It's just that rod. I'm pretty sure it wasn't designed to be bent over backwards on a jaw jack.
It's not.
It wasn't designed for it.
No.
I'm pretty sure you just go out to a custom rod maker like, hey, I want something that's a little bit softer, has a lot of bend, because that's what you want for a jaw jacker. Because it's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically your rod's bending over backwards on itself, and then it'll set the hook for you. You were probably using like a jigging rod or something, which would definitely not be designed for that.
Agreed. So do this year, guys. If listeners or people watching this YouTube, make sure to watch Fishing Kit's channel, watch MaPop Fishing channel. We're gonna be using jaw jackers, and I'm gonna be using the automatic fisherman. I got that one new. And you guys will see what we're talking about. It bends the crap out of your rod.
It's scary setting that
yeah,
thing
it's
up.
because I honestly, when you see the jaw jacker in action, I mean, when you're setting it up, it can snap you in the face. It's just really, it's that sensitive at times, but it's it will help you catch more fish though. That's the thing during the ice season when you have live bait or cut bait or whatever. I mean, because I'm going to be really. That was one of my biggest goals, is trying to catch a catfish through the ice. So I'm going to be using these because cut bait, I'm going to be using that. So hopefully, like I said, and I've learned my lesson. I'm going to not use a custom ice rod on those things. But yeah, man, I'm excited. And I think to end the conversation about the custom ice rod, Mr. Yang. So we had Mr. Yang, one of our buddies from Colorado, on our podcast, and I talked to him, obviously offline, like, why are we all getting into these custom rods? So this was probably a couple years ago. I spoke with him. I still remember the conversation I had with him to this day. He goes, Gourds, that's what they call me. He goes, look, we're not that good fishermen. We're not that great at ice fishing. We just try to catch as much fish and whatever we can. If we can purchase something that can help us that much, give us a tiny little bit of an advantage, he goes, I'm going to try and do it. If that custom ice rod helps me catch a fish that I would have never felt the bite or whatever, the presentation wasn't right, or if, I may not know, but knowingly if I did everything in my power to try and catch that specific fish or whatever fish, he goes, then I know it was worth the money or worth the investment.
Right.
So that way he goes, I don't have to feel like, man, I wish I had that rod. I probably would have caught as much fish as that guy or whatnot. That was his saying. He goes, you're going to spend all this money to go out, all the other gear, and if you're going to buy a $10 rod, he goes, it doesn't make sense. You're already spending all this time and effort and investment to try and be the best ice fisherman you can or catch, the most you can. And if you're going to go cheap on the rod, he goes, you might still catch the fish, but it's not going to be to the full potential, he feels. I get that.
That's a way of feeling, yeah.
It makes sense. But it can get pricey. But the one thing, custom ice rods are a lot cheaper than custom open water rods. I'll tell anybody that any day. So
I haven't dabbled into that world. It's
I don't think
I'm not quite there yet.
I don't think I'll ever.
I mean, I talked to Sean about it. It would be really cool just to have something that's unique.
Maybe
unique to me, and I'm the only one that has it. I mean, I guess I could step it up even further and build the rod myself, but I am not handy or craft, talented like that. So that'll maybe never happen. Well, you can't say never.
Can't say never,
but unlikely.
So I mean, I kind of driven us into ice fishing, but ice fishing, man, it's almost here. Bo, I know you're excited. You got your ice.
Super excited. Super excited.
What would you say? What are you looking forward to about this ice season? And what are you? Well, I guess you could say, what are your main goals?
Don't crash the table.
Kit.
Bro.
So if you guys, whoever heard that boom, that was Mr. Fishing Kit throwing his freaking beer can down on the table. No, just kidding.
Still sounds full over there, man. Come on.
Right.
Hey, this is number 2.
I'm gonna have to crack another one here.
Yeah, can you get me another 2, actually?
Yeah, I got you one,
The
man.
karaoke machine about to get turned on.
Yeah.
We keep drinking
Feeling
like this.
dizzy, man.
So just FYI, everybody, we're at Fishing Kit's basement, and he does have a karaoke machine. So if we keep drinking this, it just might start. It just might happen.
Behind the scenes.
Yep.
Ice fishing, yeah. Super excited. Very excited. Especially when Sean handed me that rod. I was like, man, I cannot wait to use this rod. Like, holy cow. Goals? Man, I have a lot of goals for ice fishing, I feel like. First off, they just announced the date for the YBB. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yep.
Yellow Bass
February
Marine.
13th.
February 13th.
You gotta sign this up.
Registration's
You
the
gotta
1st of
check.
December.
Yeah, registration's not open yet.
Yeah.
it's not?
1st of December, registration's open.
Cool.
We did it last year. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
So,
Let's just hope it's not 40 below.
yeah, for sure.
But
Even if it is, like, I'd still go probably.
is your partner from last year gonna be your partner this year?
If he wants to. If he wants to.
It'll be fun. It was a blast. We'll make a it'll be a good video. Hopefully
For sure. Yeah. The YBB was awesome. It was a great time. Even when it was like deathly cold out. But for goals for ice fishing, I think similar to you, I do want to catch a catfish to the ice.
Cool.
I had a couple chances last year, but user error is what I'll call everything. User error. So I do want to catch a cat through the ice, and I do want to catch something with stripes through the ice because I haven't caught anything with stripes through the ice yet. Cool. So those are like my 2 target goals. I think goals are awesome to have for any season, really, and especially when you go like way beyond those goals, it feels so good. For example, one of my goals over the summer was to catch like a 25-inch catfish or whatever, right? On my kayak, I have a little tape measure that's stuck to it. And I cut it at like 30 inches because I was like, there's no way I'm ever catching a fish over 30 inches on my kayak. So why even bother? And then like we go out of state and catch monsters. I'm like, man, I have no idea. Like, holy cow. I like crushed my goals, right? So I would like to just at least attain those goals.
Cool.
And then if we do YBB, like placing, I don't know, top 50% maybe would be nice.
Yeah, not bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom 10%.
That would be cool.
Technically, we were very close. If you really look at it, because I forgot there were like 80 or 90 teams.
It was like
last year.
88, something like that.
I think only like 50 or 60 weighed. So technically, you beat.
Exactly.
You
we beat like 40 people.
Yeah, you
right?
beat about 40% of the competition.
I want to get at least that then.
All right.
I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more people this year.
I think so too.
I think. Well, obviously, it depends on weather. We'll see. Well, I don't know. No,
It don't matter.
I don't think it matters. You're right.
You're gonna sign up in December. You're not gonna be like, okay, the weather's gonna be like this in February.
Very true, man. But I think with COVID still kind of going on a bit, last year I think you're right. I think it kind of deterred.
It definitely
But
did.
I think this year, I have a feeling it's gonna be. We got to sign up quick.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to just the ice YBB if we do it. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Me and Kit have talked about renting like a sleeper sometime.
So we can. I mean, we talk offline if you guys want or not. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah?
Well, the reason being is I'm gonna take my kids. If that's okay with you guys.
Okay.
Or do you just want to?
Yeah, I don't care. Well, what am I going to say? No?
Like, oh, your kids are going? Never mind.
Like, nah.
The reason being is my kids love ice fishing.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's so awesome to see, too. Your kids, like, playing out there.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So, but it's going to even be so badass. We rent shacks where I have an idea where I kind of want to rent. But we go up there and the kids it's like camping, obviously, but high class camping in a sense on ice and ice fishing. And, so, no, we'll definitely do that this year. If you guys are down, I have ideas and plans.
Yeah, it sounds super cool. Sounds super fun.
Yeah, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna have to book like soon
Yep.
because
Yeah.
those things fill up. I mean, unless we plan on going during the week, then we don't have to plan as far ahead. But if it's the weekend,
Very true.
we gotta get on it early.
We have some connections.
I guess we do know a couple people. I
Yeah.
guess.
We'll hit some people up and what's that? How about you, man? What are your goals, Kit, for ice season? I know we kind of talked about this previous episodes or whatnot, but is there anything in particular that you're really looking forward to for ice, like to try something new this year or challenge yourself? I guess.
Yeah, I guess for like as far as goals and challenges, for me it'd be new species like going out of state, going up to Minnesota or something, South Dakota, or dare I say, go down south.
Well, it depends if it freezes, obviously.
We could go south of Iowa. Their windows are going to be shorter, but places south of us have big fish. And if there's an opportunity for us to go down south and let's say go catch a striper through the ice, like a true striper.
Yeah.
There's not too many places that you can do it. That's one thing I want to do. And going up north, catching a burbot, catching whitefish, catching lake trout. I got to revisit lake trout. Talk about this all the damn time.
Right.
Catching lake trout through the ice. Yeah, for me, my main goals are just hitting these species that we don't really have access to in Iowa, especially through the ice.
Cool. No, I'm with you on that, and
then I have some local goals too. I kind of got into fish with stripes, catfish through the ice a couple seasons ago, and this past season, man, it was rough.
and it truly was last year, and I think yeah, I mean, still my goal is to obviously catch a catfish through the ice. That's going to be one of my top goals. But I think because I was just thinking about this too the other day. I was like, I really want to get my kids on a great bite again. That last year when we went, it was in Central Iowa, but to be able to get the kids on the bluegill bite,
yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, just to see them, they were just so excited. And then one of my daughters caught a catfish. Well, a catfish was on, and she lost it.
She hooked up with a catfish.
Yeah, and she was so excited to the point where she just reeled till it just she just reeled it out of the hook out of its mouth. But to see their faces, I want to get them on a bite like that again, like a consistent bite like that again, because they didn't care about anything else. They just wanted to get their lure down there and catch more fish. And then obviously me getting that the Panoptics, hopefully it should help them see some new technology to help them out a little bit, catch something, I don't know, or at least I can help search for the fish.
Yeah,
easier.
and then you guys can all share the same screen too.
Exactly, we were saying. I think that definitely that's my biggest goal, is to see if I can get the kids on a bite like that. And then you're right, I want to catch species we don't have here. I'm going to be going to Colorado. Shout out to the in-laws if they even listen to this, which I know they don't again, but or watch this. I'm going to be going out there Christmas time, so hopefully get your asses ready. I want to go catch some cutbows. I want to go catch some lake trout. We'll see what's going on with the ice up there, so I'll be out there in Colorado. And I don't know if we release this episode, but just so everybody knows, I think Fishing Kit and myself, we will be up there for the St. Paul Ice Show. So I'm excited for that because we're gonna
maybe Bo too.
You want to go?
We were talking about it.
We're gonna go. I think Saki Fish is going. So Saki Fish is going. I think he's taking his family. I don't know if he's going to the show, but I know he's going up to Minnesota that weekend. Yeah. So he may have conned I think he may have conned his. I don't know. I know his wife probably doesn't watch or listen to this. I think he conned his wife to go to Minnesota that weekend.
I'm gonna sneak off for a couple hours.
No, he's yeah, exactly, because I found out today. So yeah. Put everybody on blast. But anyways, because I got texted today by my wife. She goes, "Hey, Saki Fishing and their family, because his wife is my cousin. They're gonna take the kids up to Minneapolis or Minnesota December 3rd weekend. I'm like, really? Because I had a conversation with him before about, we're all going to go. And she goes, yeah, they're taking the kids and everything. I go, oh. I go, he's going to the show. But yeah, we're going to go up to the ice show. Like I said, hopefully we can network, meet some people, and see some new products for ice fishing. And then I kind of want to talk some people up there to see if we can catch, like you were saying, like a burbot. Like maybe we can network a little bit and see if people can guide us to the right spot for that. And on top of that, maybe catch some enormous walleyes or something like that. Never know. So that's the thing, man. That's the plan, at least for the next couple weeks. So stay tuned. We'll see in regards to how we do. I think we're gonna record an episode once we get up there. Let you guys know how the show went for us. I'm gonna probably vlog on my other channel. I'm gonna vlog being up there for the show. I don't know if anybody's interested in that or not, but it'll be fun.
Sounds like a good time.
You should go.
For sure.
Go out with us if you can. Boss lady, my boss, is still debating if she wants to take the kids up there or not, so we'll see. Because if not, I might just be a single man for the weekend. At least one day. It'll be one night. So, but if I take the kids and the family, I'd be up there for 2-3 nights.
Sure.
So it depends. Yeah. So, but if it's only one night, it's one night. But no, super excited. Shit, see, an hour went by quick, yeah?
Went by really quick. Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another thing I want to add. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I want to camp on the ice more this season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking not in a, an ice castle or whatever. I'm talking about open up my hub and, throwing the cot out.
I didn't tell the boss lady, but I already committed to you on the last episode that we recorded. I'm still going to go with you.
Yeah, it's
one night.
It's a lot of work, and the times that I've went, there's moments where there's regret running through my head. Like, man, this is such a bad idea. Like, why'd I do this?
I think this year, if you have at least us or whoever kind of joined you, I think at least they're in misery with you. So sure. At least it won't be so bad. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're saying, when you're out there, you're alone. You hear bzzz, the wind, and snow, and it's just like you're alone, and the fish aren't biting. Like you just said.
Yeah, the 2 times that I've done it, night fishing, man, that shit is for the birds. I was here about man, once the sun goes down, night crappies, whatever. And you think, I love catfishing. Oh yeah, catfish, they're nighttime fish. Both times that I've been out, freaking dead sea, nothing. I'm just staring at my sonar, like no movement.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe we should try closer this year.
I mean, yeah, try closer. Well, okay. I want to try a few different spots.
Okay.
I would like to, go to places that I didn't do yet. That would be good. And I got a tip about a good night bite on crappies. And I know people in the area, and they already talked about, hey, we camp out on the ice, catch crappies, like at 2 a.m. Like, hey, that sounds like a damn good time to me.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So we'll definitely do that. I'm excited. I don't know, man. I haven't been this excited for an ice season in a while.
Me too.
I am pretty I was because like I said, last year towards the end, I was just I was done with it. Even this summer and this fall, I was like, whatever. And then for some reason, just recent, the last couple weeks, I've just been pretty amped up for ice season.
For sure.
And see what we'll do. But
oh no, go ahead, Bo.
I was gonna say last year was my first season, right? So I slowly built a collection of stuff, right? All right, I got this. Next week, I'm buying more stuff, right? The week after, I got some more stuff. This season, I have everything now. So I could just jump right in. Okay, let's go.
See, the only thing you needed was just your new rod, technically.
That's all. Yeah. Well, I mean, I had to get a sled,
Yeah. But ice fishing, like you said, it's not the cheapest. It's just a lot of gear, little things. But like you said, it's a good thing that you slowly got your gear over
for sure
over time.
It's nice to have friends.
That too, yeah. And that's the thing. So
we always say, go with somebody that does it.
For sure.
That's the best way to get into
it. For sure.
Yeah. Anybody's listening to this, because I know we have a lot of listeners who probably don't ice fish, but if you're really interested, really fun, man. You're walking on water technically. So, but like Fishing Kid was just saying, grab somebody, even message us, man. If anybody down south or anyone you just want to try it out, hit us up, message us. We have all the gear. We have everything you need. The only thing you need to do is just bring your body and just extra clothes. Like that's about it. Everything else we'll have for you guys. Just try it out, and it could be a new addiction that you. It's a good thing, man. I love it. Wintertime, you get outdoors, get a little vitamin D. Ain't too bad.
It's addicting, man.
It is.
It is super addicting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's it, man. I don't really have anything else this week, Kit.
I forgot what I was gonna say earlier. So coming off of last season, I'm thinking like, okay, I got everything I need. I got the live scope, I got a 1-man shack, I got the hub, got a sled, I got the flight auger. Like, okay, I'm sitting pretty good. But ever since I got that 1-man, I run 36-inch ice rods, and it is a tight fit in there. And so this season, I was talking to Sean. I was like, dude, I need some shorter rods, because that 36-inch rod, there's not much room to set your hooks and maneuver around with that rod. That's one of the things with ice fishing. You think you're done buying stuff, and it's like, oh man, something comes out. Like, okay, I guess I gotta get shorter rods. Which is, it sounds like counterintuitive. But when I first started, when I got into the groove of ice fishing, and when I figured out, what's my style that I like to fish with, I like being outside, hole hopping. Longer rod is very good for that. But now I got a 1-man, and I just go out in not so favorable days, flip it over. Then I'm sitting there like, man, these rods are almost too long.
Nope. I hear you. I'm with you on that. Like, every year, I'm not buying anything, guys. I'm not gonna buy anything this year, but it's very true. You end up looking by. It's just, it comes with the territory of fishing. Period. I think. I mean, because technically, you don't need to buy any lures for at least 10 years if you really, really think about it.
We're great at finding excuses to buy stuff.
Exactly.
We're really good at it, right?
But I'm with you. I really wasn't planning on buying anything this year, but I really saw how happy my kids were to get there and ice fishing. That's why, and I couldn't justify it to the boss lady to buy a $3,000 live scope or 27, whatever the case may be, right? I just couldn't justify it, especially if I want a boat. You know what I'm saying? So that was going through my mind. I was like, all right, hold on. So that's why I was able to get, just the Panoptics, which is the next step closest to live scope technically. And yes, I splurged on that, but I think, like you were just saying, we're going to be in the same hub, tent, whatever, and the kids, we all use the same screen. I'm hoping that, they're going to be like super excited to see something new.
If the boss approves.
Well, I didn't ask her. I just did it.
Hey.
So she don't watch this or listen to this. And if if I get in trouble for this, I'll be like, hell yeah, you listen to my shit? That's what I'm talking about.
I asked you on there, or at least I mentioned it on there.
Exactly. So we'll see. But no, I didn't ask her. It's one of those things. I just purchased it. It's all right.
Yeah, ice fishing. I said on Spencer's podcast when we hopped on there, I was like, ice fishing for me, it's a means to an end. If I'm not ice fishing throughout the winter months, that means I ain't fishing. I mean, that kind of sounds like like I'm not that into ice fishing, but when the time comes, I try not to get caught up in the hype. I don't freak out when it turns 20 degrees outside for 2 nights. Like, oh my God, we're gonna be ice fishing in like 3 weeks. I try not to get caught up in the hype, but once it's here, once it kicks off, I'm like all the way in there. I've got too much gear invested to not like ice fishing, for one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, but then when the time comes, that's when I get excited. I just try to, okay, fall's still here. Try not to get super hyped up, but once it gets here, I get pretty excited.
For sure.
Gotcha.
No. Wish there was more like sunlight during the day.
Oh yeah,
that'll have to be for. Well, I don't know. You want to talk about it?
We can still go.
We can still go. So this was a topic we kind of wanted to talk about. daylight savings.
Or the lack of daylight savings.
Or the lack of daylight savings.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
So now it's fall, technically almost winter. It sucks for a lot of people who work because, we used to, summertime, once you get off work, you can still go fish, 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yeah, depending on what time you get off. You get off work at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hit the water at 7. You got 2 hours to fish.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I get off. If I get off at 3, get home at 4, I maybe have 1 hour.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, and it's slowly getting darker and darker.
It is. So that's the thing. I think I like it because I'm technically a morning person, and so when ice fishing comes, you know me, man. I'm excited. Get up at 4? Let's go, boys! I'm like,
yeah.
Get over to my house by 5, guys, and we're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I'm a morning person, so that it technically doesn't affect me too much. But you're right in regards to 4 o'clock comes and it's dark.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I
For sure.
sucks for a lot of people who doesn't work from home like me, and I get a chance to.
Yeah, us commuters.
Yes, the commuters.
Yeah, I get off at 5, and
Yeah.
it got dark today at like 4:30.
Yeah.
So technically, your fishing is
It's done.
probably done till the weekend.
Exactly.
Technically,
Unless
you
I
need to
go
do work.
before work, but I work in a kitchen. I'm not gonna go into the kitchen smelling like cut shad. You know.
You could.
could.
You could. But
Special.
no. I just it sucks, but I think we just got to deal with it for the winter months. I think that's why ice season will come.
So why do they even have what is daylight savings? Like, what's the legacy behind it, and why do we still? I know it's like an old thing. I don't know the exact reason.
Okay.
Something with farmers or something.
So somebody can fact check me on this, but I think you're right. I think what it had to deal with, so the farmers, because obviously the sun, you only get a certain amount of time and light, right? So supposedly, I think that's one of the reasons they change. You do the time change. Another reason was supposedly we use less electricity, less energy.
Okay.
When you change the time,
That makes sense.
because the way the sun, because what's the typical sunlight right now? About 5:30ish till probably
Like 6 to 5,
Yeah.
maybe.
right.
Right now, like sunrise.
Sunrise is probably about 6:30 right now. I think.
Yeah.
6:30.
I don't know. I've been going to work at 4 in the morning, so it's pitch black
dark.
anyways.
But
But
no.
I have no idea when the sun comes
all right,
up.
There's got to be some smart people who listen to this podcast or watch us, but it was those two things that I always hear. It's either the farmers, you had to change the time for them, the way they farm and everything, and then people to save energy. Anyways, fact check us something or I swear to God, that was it, man. It was like the farmers and electricity, but like you're saying, it makes no difference.
So what? How would it favor the farmers? We kind of talked about the energy saving stuff.
When you fall, when fallbacks happens, it's because technically it's supposed to,
It gets brighter later. The sun comes up later, and it gets.
Yeah.
Oh
So
no!
Sun comes up
No,
earlier.
sun
Sun
comes
comes up
earlier.
earlier.
So that's why you back the time.
And
up.
it gets dark earlier.
Yeah, because technically, if let's just say it's bright at like 4:30 or 5 a.m., right? 4 a.m. It would technically be 4 a.m. It would be super bright already. So when you do a fall back, I think supposedly gives the farmers an extra hour of sleep or some shit like that. I don't know, man.
They could just go to bed early, right?
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it gets dark at like 5 anyway.
It's the same thing with electricity. Like you're gonna save money or energy. Yeah. It's the same concept. You're right. It's just like we all know. Right. We all counteract the whole situation of it getting brighter sooner and darker earlier.
I feel like everybody is not in favor of the way the system is now. And it seems like the argument is for a few select people, like the farmers. I don't know. They just need to pick one and just stick with it. Right. That's what they need.
Why change the clock at all? Just leave it. Leave it. Well, but that's just my.
Just leave it at daylight savings, so we have more time after work to go fishing.
Right? Yeah. Come on.
Or we just move to Hawaii. Hawaii doesn't have that shit. So.
Well, and then they're freaking like in the summer all year anyways.
Yeah, that's exactly. So that's why.
Man, I had some relatives visiting from Hawaii. the only thing they wanted to eat here was crappie.
Yeah,
You believe that?
So crazy.
They have access to like tuna and salmon.
It's
And
different.
they're like, I want that crappie.
No,
Leave the eggs in there. Give me the guts. I want it all.
Don't even gut it.
Okay.
Throw some salt on it. Throw it on the grill.
It's just, you know what? It's just one of those things. I don't think. Remember, we had Nick Morris from Hawaii Adventures on. They don't have crappies there. They don't. I think they don't even.
If I was in Hawaii, I don't know if I would miss crappies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very
Right.
true. I mean, they technically go
Crappie's
catch.
pretty tasty.
They can
It's
catch.
good,
They catch
but-
tuna, mahis.
I'm pretty sure there's some equivalent. Like, okay, this is my freaking crappie equivalent in Hawaii.
It's like 40 pounds, too, you know? Like,
We're gonna have. All right, Nick. If you're watching or listening to us, we're gonna hit you up. Is there anything equivalent to? Has he even had crappie? Do we even ask him that?
He's been to the mainland.
Yeah.
I think he's had like walleye and stuff.
We'll have to ask you, Nick. I'll hit you up. You should come back on our show. Hope get better well on your back surgery, by the way. Better better soon. I'm 3-4 beers in, guys. Sorry, man.
what about that?
Either get better or get well.
Yes, get better well.
Better well.
Get better well, guys. All right. On that note, gentlemen, got anything else, guy?
I don't think I have anything. I think I popped off on everything I wanted to.
Cool. We have a lot of stuff. So, I mean, thank you so much, Bo, for just joining us, having beers, just talking fishing, and appreciate it. And, you know, can't wait next year to get out on the boat with you, and can't wait to get on the ice with you this year. I think we have a lot of plans and ideas that we want to do, and hopefully we can execute it.
Yeah, hopefully we still get into the walleyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Still walleye
Like,
season
I'm
here.
not even worried about ice fishing yet. Like, I'm waiting to get on that good walleye
For
bite.
sure.
So,
yeah.
well, you know, technically when this episode comes out, it's still walleye season. So, I mean, we should hopefully cross your fingers, follow us, that we have some walleye pictures for you guys that aren't like little cigars.
Because this time last year, actually up until like Thanksgiving and stuff, I think that's when things really ramped up.
Yeah.
For walleyes.
They put new walleye limits at Clear Lake. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got
Yeah.
a slot limit.
They have a
up
slot
there
now. Do you think that means they're breeding okay? What do you think that
I think the pressure is high.
Okay. So it's just too much
The
pressure.
slot isn't there to protect the breeding at the lake. It's more to they want to protect I mean, I just said it's not for breeding, but they want to protect a breeding population that they can net and take to hatcheries.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause-
That makes more sense.
Walleye spawning in Iowa,
It's just like
basically
non-existent.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's a good question. You know
Okay.
what? And we can get Robbie on. That's a good question to kind of ask him.
Because, I saw that. I was like, I wonder if
He would probably know.
breeding's happening or something, because they put that slot in.
Yeah, they just want to protect that, breeding population. The breeding doesn't necessarily happen in the lake,
Yeah.
but they're there so they can have, for the DNR to be able to access those fish,
That makes more sense.
take them to the hatchery, spawn them out at the hatchery, and then put those fish back.
Yeah. Because, like I said, Iowa does a great job of breeding the walleyes.
But my question is, maybe this is a question for another podcast, or we'll follow up on it.
Yeah.
My question is, Big Creek and Rathbun. I know we try not to say the lakes or the names of lakes, but these are the two other lakes that they'll harvest the fish for the same purpose, but there's no slot on those lakes. And my question is, why not there if they're using those fish for the same thing?
Right. We have to ask the Iowa.
We'll have to get back. Yeah, we'll have to follow
Yeah.
up on that one.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. We'll ask the Iowa DNR. We'll ask a fisheries biologist.
Does that mean more slots are coming? Who knows?
We don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
That damn.
Maybe
live
somebody
scope.
knows.
That damn live scope. Live scope's killing it. No,
Jeff Kapaska might know.
Yeah. Jeff.
There you go.
Well, I'll see if I can reach back out to him. But no, seriously though. Other than that, thanks Bo for jumping on. We gotta do this again, man. It's fun. We'll just have beers,
was
just
fun.
talk fishing.
Pretty drunk.
Hopefully it wasn't too freaking going off in too many different directions.
But that's
but
okay. Hey, man, we just like I said, we drink beer. We talk fishing. It's all
Yeah,
good.
pretty tipsy.
Thank you so much though for all the listeners, followers, everything. Like I said, make sure to check out Fishing Kit's YouTube channel. Check out MaPop Fishing's YouTube channel, and make sure you guys subscribe. tell people about this podcast. Help grow it. It would help our sponsors out who back the shit out of us. So that's kind of cool of them. But other than that, man, I can't wait for ice season, but it is walleye season probably for the next month. So we'll see how I do targeting walleyes. I don't know, man.
Just go. That's it.
Just go. Get out there and fish, guys. If you don't ice fish, get out there. You got a little bit of time left here in the Midwest before the ice shows up. Everybody down south, I don't want to hear about it. How you guys got your boat out on the water. I know. We know. It's all good. But until next time.
All right. See you guys.